Hello, everybody, and welcome to my live for today. Welcome to Monday morning. I hope everybody's off to a good week. Well, what's the subject for today? Well, we're going to be talking about F1, student visas, and specifically, I want to talk about the intent that is required in order to properly get a student visa. I'm thirsty. Sorry, just a second. Oh, did you like that? Just a minute. Just a minute. Sorry. Just give me a second. I just got thirsty. Nothing like a Mountain Dew in the morning. Okay. Sorry. So, just a second. I have to put my thing on pause here. Well, it's okay. So, anyways, I want to talk about the intent required for a student visa because a lot of them get denied for reasons that have nothing to do with the school. And people don't realize that. They think it's just being denied because, they didn't go to the right school type thing. So what I'll do is I'll talk about that. And then after, go ahead and look at the questions. I'll see what questions we have, and I'll answer them. I'll go one by one, and then as long as I have, and then I'll call it a day. All right. So you ready for the spiel on F1s? Okay, well, first of all, F1s are student visas. It's when people want to come here and learn, okay, get a degree. And just as an aside, with a student visa, when you come on the I-94, you'll get a D/S. That's when you come here and you get stamped your authorization to stay here. That's duration of status. I have people who come here, starting off in a community college and end up getting their doctoral degrees, and they've been here for 12 years on a student visa. So it's possible to stay a whole long time on student visas. It's also possible to ultimately get the green card. F1, OPT, H1B, PERM, I-140, adjustment of status. Okay? So keep that in mind. Just a little tidbit for you. Okay, so let's get into it. So the intent, first of all, which you have to understand, you know how, like a criminal in court, they are presumed innocent until proven guilty? Well, with F1, the intent is different. You are presumed to want to stay in the U.S. forever. And you have to prove them wrong in order to show you have non-immigrant intent. That's the law. Okay? So again, understand, when you walk in the door to the consulate, it is presumed you are going to stay in the U.S. forever. Okay? So it's a denial from the outset. You have to sufficiently prove them wrong that you do intend to go back to your home country after your education. Okay? That's called non-immigrant intent. With F1s, a big reason that F1s are denied is because people cannot prove their non-immigrant intent. Okay? And they'll get a denial. And I'll tell you right now the numbers. 214B. Okay? You get a 214B denial. That just means you were unable to prove you intend on going back to your home country once you are done with your education in the U.S. And people always say, well, how do I prove that? Well, there's all kinds of ways of proving it, okay? And it has to be done methodically. You have to show you have, first of all, you have to show you have ties in your home country, okay? You have to show you have family, assets, businesses, if you have, which I understand if you come on a student visa, you're not going to have a lot of, businesses. So, just a second. Let me put this thing on. I'm getting beeped up and down here from businesses and everything. And I want to concentrate on the live here. So let me put this on reduced interruptions for 1 hour. There we go. Now less beeps. Okay? Cool. All right. So the idea is you have to show all kinds of ties from your home country. So where the problem is, a lot of times, if you don't have any assets, if you don't have any property, if you're leaving and you have nowhere to go back, if you don't have any family, you know, and you don't have a job, well, you can understand they're going to think you're not going to go back. I'm not saying that you can't prove non-immigrant intent if you don't have all that stuff, but if you do, it's a lot easier. So, like, for example, I'm just telling you, for example, if you're going to come to the U.S. on an F1 and there's an issue with intent, for the present time, just leave your, spouse and kids in your home country and you come to get the F1. You can bring them later. But at the time of your interview, if you show that your spouse and your kid is staying, or kids or whatever, are staying in your home country, and they're going to be taken care of by, your spouse and or the nanny and or whoever, grandma and grandpa, that's a great way to show you intend on coming back, unless they think you're just going to leave your spouse and kids and never come back. Okay? Obviously, if you own property, you don't want to sell the property to come here on a student visa. If you sell the property, what's that look like? It looks like you sold the property because you have no intention of going back. Okay? If you have a job, but you're getting a student visa to further assist with that job, then, you can get a letter from your employer. You can show that, Let's say, let's say nursing, okay? And let's say you don't have a bachelor's in nursing, and for whatever reason you want to come to the U.S. to get it so you can come back and be more educated and help more people. Which brings me to another point. The type of education you're getting has to be consistent with you wanting to go back. So it's just not like if you want to get anything, you can. So let's say you come from a country that has a lot of agriculture and you want to come to the U.S. to get your bachelor's in, some kind of scientific agriculture. Okay, I forget the name, but let's just say that's it. Well, you can easily show that the reason you're doing that is so that you can go back, you can get a job, harvesting crop and making it easier to, for people to get food in your country. Now, obviously, you can't always show that kind of stuff, okay? But let's say that you come from a country that is very low in technology and you're coming to get, a computer science degree. It's going to be a little more difficult to show you're going to go back to your home country with a computer science degree. I'm not saying don't get it. And I'm not saying you can't make arguments. I mean, you can certainly, either way you can make arguments. If there's no technology and you come and get a computer science degree, you could come back because you want to bring back the knowledge of computer science to your home country, and you want to be able to start your business or, work with the few firms that do require it, things like that. So it has to be consistent, okay? The education has to show that at the end, you intend on going back. So I'll exaggerate. Let's say that we'll go to talk nursing again. Let's say you go to the interview and the officer says, why are you getting a nursing degree? And let's say you know a little bit about immigration. Say, well, because I know if I get a nursing degree that I'll be Schedule A, apply for lawful permanent residency under Schedule A, won't have to do the perm, can jump right through those hoops and get the green card a lot faster. If you say something like that, you know what's going to happen. They're going to say, wait a minute, you want to get your nursing degree because you want to come to the U.S., stay here and get your residency based on a nursing petition, correct? And you go, well, yeah. Go, well, you don't have non-immigrant intent. You don't intend on coming to the U.S. to get an education to go back to your own country. You intend on coming here to get the nursing degree to then do the nursing petition to get the green card. Okay? So you see where I'm going with this. Okay? By the same token, there's all kinds of ways they could see. I mean, again, I exaggerate with some obvious examples. Let's say that you're at the interview and everything's going peachy fine. And they say, well, how are you going to pay for school? You say, well, my U.S. citizen boyfriend is going to pay for it all. Well, boom, it's going to be denied. Why? Because they know that all you got to do is marry your U.S. citizen boyfriend. You're going to do adjustment of status and you're never going to leave. And whether you do or not is really not the issue. It's what they believe. So, by going that route and by saying those things, and I'm not saying lie or misrepresent, but by saying your U.S. citizen boyfriend's footing the bill for your school, why would he do that? He's not doing that out of the kindness of his heart. Okay? So there's things you need to look for and things you need to do to give you a better chance when you go in on the F1. Okay, and while there's all kinds of issues, what we're talking about today is intent. And if you walk in the door knowing that they don't believe you, that they think you want to stay there forever, well, then it's easier because then, you got to start from square one and you prove the ties you have in the U.S. You show why your education will help when you go back. And then, of course, while you can always say it, but after you submit all this stuff, if you can show through your intent and what you say that you intend on going back and why through a declaration, that of course helps. I mean, obviously everybody's going to say it. I always find it humorous when, they say, well, if you come on that, they're just not going to believe you. Well, I'm going to tell them. I'm going to tell them I want to go back. Well, that's not enough. But in conjunction with everything else, if you make the detailed declaration as to why you want to go back and why your intent is not to stay here, then there's a better chance of success. Now, given that I've said all this and showing your intent, that doesn't mean that when you come to the U.S., that you can't change your intent. Okay? It's kind of a fine line that has to be walked. You can change your intent and you can then apply for a work permit that maybe has what's called dual intent, or you can apply for the green card, or you can do a change of status, whatever it is. Okay, so your intent can change. But at the time you're at the interview, at the consulate, you must have non-immigrant intent to come to the U.S. All right? Okay. So that is my spiel on intent. So what I want to do now, let me scroll back to the beginning of when everybody joined. Thank you for joining, everyone. Feel free to send me some hearts, likes. It's kind of funny, but I like seeing those numbers go up. So let me see if we have any questions here. I have a joke for you. Which side of a turkey has more feathers? The outside. Okay, just joking. All right. Here we go. Let me scroll through and see if we have any questions. Oh, thanks everybody for the hearts. The hearts are flowing up now. Look at that. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm asking for everyone's patience while okay, well, Antoinette, you just put J1. You didn't ask a question. Oh, and you got the number 1 gifter badge, Antoinette. I suspect what you're asking is you're on J1, you have a 2-year foreign residency, what are you supposed to do? Well, first of all, I need to make sure you're on, and you have a 2-year foreign residency requirement. That means you can't change or adjust status until you file a waiver of the J. So first, look, thank you for the hearts, everyone. Look on your visa, see if it says 212E, okay? Or see if it says not subject to the 2-year foreign residency. Okay, if you're not subject to it, then it doesn't matter you're on J1. You can change or adjust your status without a problem. If you are, then you're going to need to do a waiver. And there's different ways of doing waivers. Okay, different qualifications. Okay, well, Travelettes just took over the number 1 gifter badge position, and Jose Cruz got the number 3. All right, okay, my husband is waiting for his green card, but he does have a working permit. Can they take him? Well, here's the short answer. First of all, when you say waiting for his green card, I would need to confirm he actually qualifies to adjust status, okay? And by taking him, that obviously means he's in the U.S. And what Trump is going to try to do is take everybody, okay, who's not a U.S. citizen. So the answer is they could try, but you have to fight it if that happens, okay? I mean, legally, if he just has a work permit, that doesn't give him legal status. It allows him to work, but it doesn't give him legal status. However, if he qualifies to adjust, and you already have the adjustment in there, I would need to make sure there's no grounds of inadmissibility, no other issues. But if so, then it would be a matter of continuing to file. Now, if they decide to take him, then it's a matter of fighting the case, okay? It's a matter of going to immigration court and fighting it. And then if worse comes to worse and they're actually going to try to put him on a plane, there's ways of filing to get an injunction to stop it, okay, or filing for a motion to stay, okay? I mean, there's ways of faxing in a motion to stay where you can get a decision if it's done properly, which I guarantee you're going to need an experienced immigration attorney to do this, but there's ways of stopping it before he gets on the plane. Now, I had a case years ago. It was the closest one I ever had of this nature. I think the guy was from Nigeria, and they were deporting him. And I was fighting the case and fighting, and they decided they were going to forget about it, and they were going to just take him and bring him on the plane. And it was already up at the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. So I found out that he was doing this, and they literally were escorting him on the plane. I faxed, and by I mean my office, we faxed to the Ninth Circuit an emergency motion to stay. It was, from what I recall, it was like at 4:20 p.m. in the afternoon. And he was walking on the plane right about that time. And we got the order, like literally 20 minutes or so after it was filed, fax/filed to the Ninth Circuit, ordering immigration to stop the deportation. Okay, I'm not saying every case is that successful, but this was. And the Ninth Circuit ordered them to stop. Of course, word got down, and before he could take off, the plane could take off, they had to escort him off the plane, and their little games of trying to deport him while I was doing my legal maneuvering between the BIA and the Ninth Circuit did not work. Okay, now I'm not saying that they won't try doing stuff like that again, but you have to be prepared to fight, okay? So that's that. Mark, you just got the number 3 gifter badge. Thank you. Okay, just a second. Well, Susie Q just moved up to the number 1 position. What are the options if denied entry when trying to return on advance parole obtained through marriage? Did that actually happen to you yet? Thank you, Pixelly, for the rose. And someone else gave a rose too, and I didn't say thanks because they got 2 roses. But thanks for the other person that gave the rose too. I need to know if that actually happened to you. Did you have advanced parole, and were you denied? Okay. I suspect, El Jefe, thank you. I suspect that this hasn't happened yet, because you're asking in future tense if you're trying to return on advanced parole. First things first, if you're here in the U.S. and you got advanced parole, and you're adjusting status, why risk going with all the stuff that's going on, with all the stuff he's trying to pull? Why risk it? Just stay here and wait till you have your green card. Okay? I mean, I'm not saying you won't be able to get back, and I'm not saying there are not ways of fighting once you do get back. If they try to stop it and say, well, advanced paroles are no longer valid, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying there's not ways of fighting that, but why would you put yourself through that fight? Why would you even open that door if you don't have to? I mean, unless your mother is dying, and that's why you got the advanced parole, that's one thing. But if you're going because, you want to see some, nice trees in Norway, that's a different story. Okay, just wait. Make the vacation next year. Okay? Travelets. Thank you for number 1 gifter badge. Okay, let's see. Let me, you thought I was Harlan Williams for a second? Who's Harlan Williams? Am I showing my age? Who is Harlan Williams? I bet you he's like a country singer or something. Yeah? And I'm going to have to look up. After I'm done with this live, I'm going to look up Harlan Williams and see if I look like him. Do you think Trump will change the length of visa status for F1? Well, I mean, he'll try everything, but I mean, there's no basis for doing that. Okay, the length of the visa is the duration of status. Okay, and it's not technically the visa. It's when you come here, you get D/S on there, so you stay as long as you are validly on F1 status. That's why they don't give a definite date of expiration, because it depends on the school, it depends on the extensions, it depends on all kinds of stuff. Okay, thank you, Endo. You got the number 3 gifter badge. Okay, are you an attorney? Yes, I am. I know that in my relaxed position here with my Mountain Dew, you question that, but I am. I graduated in 1991. I worked as an insurance defense attorney. Oh, I hated that. Oh my God, I hated that. Insurance defense attorney for a few years. And then I got into immigration. I got into immigration in 1996. And then I was doing half immigration, half civil litigation. And then 2001, I started my own immigration law firm. So I've had my own immigration law firm since 2001. I've been working in immigration law since 1996. And I've been an immigration attorney, a licensed attorney since 1992. Does that make me old? Okay. What if you came as an F1 student and applied for asylum and it's pending? Okay, I mean, there's no problem with that. If you came as an F1 and you qualify for asylum, you can certainly apply for it. If it's pending, you just have to wait to have your case adjudicated. Don't think just because you applied for it, you're going to get it, though. I always tell people, if you did it yourself, have an attorney supplement the application to make it a lot better. I mean, I would never go to a different country that I'm not from, apply for asylum there and think I could win by doing it myself. Okay? I mean, you might, but the probability is you need help to make it a lot better. Okay? If it turns out that they deny the asylum, but you're still validly on F1, you don't get put to removal proceedings, you don't get transferred, it just ends and you continue on with your F1. So stay in school. Don't violate your F1 status. And that's Monair. You got the number 2 gifter badge. Thank you. All right. Lovely Liz IE just took over that position. What if I come, what if I come with a B1 and applied for asylum and I'm waiting for my work permit? I mean, that's doable. And obviously you're asking from some other country now. You can come on the B1 and you can apply for asylum, but you have to qualify for it. There's all kinds of problems if you submit a false asylum application or one that's not bona fide. Okay, so you can definitely do that. Understand the work permit's not going to come for at least 150 days. It takes a while. You can't just apply, and the way it is, it's last in, first out now. So you come in and apply, you're going to have your interview most likely before your work permit ever comes. So you better have a good asylum case. Okay. Can a person with a D1 visa refer to immigration court, marry a citizen in just status? Well, you're talking about C1/D. That's someone, for example, who came on a cruise ship and jumped ship. And the answer is no, you cannot. That doesn't mean you can't ultimately get the green card. You just have to do it correctly. That means doing consulate processing. You may qualify for a provisional waiver of inadmissibility. I need to know how long you've been out of status, assuming you have, and if you're subject to the 3 or 10-year bar, which you probably are, and then if there's the qualifying relative, which there would be if you're married to a U.S. citizen. Okay? Okay, this is not an immigration question. I have pain on my left knee whenever it's cold. Yeah, right there with you, brother. Okay, Ed Contrer got the number 1 gifter badge. Okay, what if I come with a B? Oh, wait, you already asked this question, Britannia. I answered you. Um, can a person... See, these people don't think I'm going to answer the question, so they repeat it. It's okay. I remember, so I don't answer it twice. I don't want to bore you answering the same thing twice. Just a minute. It just scrolled up again. Okay, just a minute. Oh, we got so many questions here at the bottom. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to all of them, but I could do like speed answers and not get into a lot of detail and just answer a little bit. Maybe that's how I should do it. Just a minute. Let me scroll back up to where I was. Okay. All right. Okay, here we are. If F1 marries a U.S. citizen a few months before graduation, would a change of status affect studies? No, and it's not changing status. If you're married to a U.S. citizen, you're going to adjust status. Change of status is when you change from one non-immigrant category to another. It doesn't affect it at all. Just continue. Don't withdraw your F until you have the green card in your hand, but do the F and then do the adjustment and apply for the green card. Okay. Landez got the #1 gifter badge right until it was taken away by Gabby. What advice do you have for someone that came through the border and is waiting for approval or denial? Well, it depends. What did you apply for? I need to know what you applied for. How do you feel about everything? Well, thanks for asking. I'm doing the best I can to keep an upbeat attitude, knowing we're going to have to fight for 4 years. Okay, you accept it, you do it, and there you go. So I feel better. Oh, you applied for asylum. Okay, well, I need to know if you have a valid case or not, you know. I don't want to... Oh, thanks for the roses. Thanks, Gabby. I don't want to, dampen your spirits here, but thank you. I received my live goal today. But there's only about 18% of people who apply for asylum that get approved. And of those 18%, the vast majority of those are represented by attorneys. So I don't know how good or bad your asylum case is. So rather than just waiting, make sure you get it supplemented by an attorney who knows what they're doing so you have a better chance. Okay? Is pending U visa could be deported if they have deportation order? Absolutely. There's nothing with the U pending that gives you automatic rights to stay here. It doesn't mean that you can't file for a motion to stay. There's stuff you can do, but the mere having it isn't gonna, or pending of it isn't gonna, necessarily protect you. Can immigrants travel in the U.S. without ICE detaining? The answer is yes, you should be able to. Okay, whether they detain you or not is a different issue, and whether it's lawful or not is a different issue. Okay. Visa denied for crime of moral turpitude. Can I do a waiver? Generally, but I need to know what the crime was. I need to know if you have a qualifying relative. I need to know if it is a non-immigrant visa or the green card. Okay, how can I count you? I think you meant how can I call you? Office number is 562-495-0554. Okay, and you can catch that from my contact here. Is there a permit where you're in California working, have a driver's license and waiting? What's next? That by itself does not give you a working permit. A driver's license means nothing. California, you can get a driver's license specifically if you don't have legal status. So call me, I'll give you a consultation, see what you might qualify for. Okay. Thank you for the roses and the heart puff. And the gifts. I appreciate it. My friend was denied entry this month. I need to know why. Okay, chances are it was because he didn't have non-immigrant intent. If you have DACA, should you go ahead and get married? Well, you shouldn't get married for the purposes of getting the green card if you don't love the person. That's not legal. Okay, it has to be bona fide. But if you love the person, the answer is yes. And then it's a matter of doing what's necessary to see if you can change or adjust your status. I don't know if you're getting married to someone else who has DACA or someone who's a U.S. citizen. Okay, is there a resident permit? Oh, wait, you already asked that. How much is the consultation fee? Initial consultation's free, but that only goes a few minutes for me to find out the problem. If you want a more detailed one, a 20-minute consultation is $250, 30-minute consultation is $350. Okay. Let's see. If one has DACA entered on the visa waiver through Miami Airport, can I file an I-130 married to USC? Okay, something doesn't make sense here. I mean, if you entered on the visa waiver program, then you wouldn't qualify for DACA. So I need to know when it was. I mean, maybe you had DACA a long time ago, left, and then entered on a visa waiver after you were no longer subject to the bar. So I need to know when you entered on the visa waiver. I need to know when, if at all, you married the U.S. citizen. I need to know if you're subject to the 90-day rule, and if it's bona fide. Okay? Do you think it's safe right now to start the process to get a green card? Not only do I think it's safe, if you qualify, you need to do it. Don't wait. Don't hide around. I mean, you understand, they're going to try to get everybody they can out of the country, right? And hiding's not going to help. If you qualify for the green card, you should take that and do it. Okay, don't wait. My fiance has been open 12 years and we are on final appeal because they denied everything. Well, I mean, the fact it's been going for 12 years is pretty good, but give me a call. Let me see what maybe I can help you with. I need to see what's going on. Sometimes people go on year and they think they're doing the best thing, and I give them a 5-minute consultation and go, well, you need to go this way. Changes everything. I am taking the Florida bar exam this year. Well, that means you studied very hard, Gabby. Don't work while you're studying the bar. Okay? Don't think you can do that. Study and give it everything you got. Okay? Obviously, the bar exam's not easy, but I know you're going to pass. You're going to do good. All right? Good luck to you. July. Well, that's coming up. Don't get an ulcer. Don't think about it every day, You'll do good. You'll study hard. You'll go in there knowing what you're knowing, and you'll ace it. All right? Hi, is there any hope for final removal orders dismissed by the BA? I mean, there are. I've had lots of cases like that. Sometimes you get a final removal order dismissed by the BIA, but then you qualify for something else you might not have known you qualify for. Make a motion to reopen, get back in, or you do consular processing with a waiver. Okay. You say you have an I-130 pending now, so I need to know on what basis. And you might not qualify to adjust. You might have to go through the consular processing, but there may very well be ways. I have a work permit and planning on traveling this Friday. Do you think I'll have issues with TSA? You might. I mean, it's unfortunate you have to... You're welcome. It's unfortunate you have to... people have to think like this, but you might. Work permit by itself does not give you authorization. It doesn't give you legal authorization, just allows you to work. So I need to know on what basis you have a work permit. Okay, really the question is, what is your basis here, your legal basis? Are you an asylee? Are you on a non-immigrant visa? Let's see. I came on a B1, adjusted to M1, got caught up in the system and got stuck. Well, what's that mean? Is it still waiting? How long's it been? Did you get an RFE? My husband is on F1, and I assume you're saying, and I have an F2, but I'm applying for a T. Would this affect our F1 and F2? The answer is no. And if you apply for a T, if you qualify for a T, you should take it. Okay? That means you're either a victim of, sex trafficking or work trafficking. You don't have to have immigrant or non-immigrant intent. You can maintain your status and apply. So if you qualify for the T, you should definitely take it. It won't affect the F1. Visas denied for crime. Oh, wait. That's a repeat question. How do I do an F1 student request for a work permit? Well, you can't. The only way you're going to do that is if you can show hardship. Okay, there's only hardship. So let's say you come from a country where your parents were paying for all of your fees, and let's say your country's now at war, or let's say your parent died. Something like that, something drastic that caused the flow of money to stop. Has nothing to do with you, but now you're in a very difficult position. That's how you get it. Okay, the normal way, though, is you stay here long enough and then you go on optical practical training, OPT. Erica got the number 3 gifter badge. Okay. All right, well, let's see. I think... sorry. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do today. I have to go on the bike outside and do some nice biking. It's a nice day. I mean, I'm not going to actually bike. It's a stationary bike. So I can just relax and bike at the same time. So sorry I didn't get to all of your questions. But I'll get to more of them on the next live. And then, of course, you can email me. You can send them on TikTok. You know, all the different ways. Okay? It's been a pleasure. Have a good day.